What is up, people? We are about to review the Friday Night SmackDown edition. We're in April now? April 4th. We're going to jump in quickly with this. I'm going to try to keep this one under 30 minutes. As you can see, my normal partner is not here today. That is because I fell asleep. He was not ready at the time when the matches all ended, and I ended up falling asleep waiting for him, and he uploaded his end on his platform, and I uploading on mine right now. So it's just going to be me for this one. But we started out today with, let's get my notes open, be a little more professional. So Randy Orton comes out to cut a promo, and he starts out by saying, I'm doing this not for my hometown, not for the fans, not for anybody. He's doing it for him and his family. He points to the 6 people in the front row, which I believe are his family members. I don't pay attention to Randy Orton's family, so I don't know what they look like. Then we get... He says that Cody, whether he walks or is carried out by a stretcher, is going home empty-handed, and Cody gave me the green light to be the Viper, and that it's not anything personal. It does seem to be a bit personal, Randy, let's be honest. But he continues on to say how the voices in Cody's head... Oh, there's Ollie in the background. The voices in Cody's head are telling and screaming to him that he's not a killer and that he can't beat me. But what he's awoken with in Randy's head is something that he can't simply just turn off. What's up, pretty boy? Cody Rhodes comes out and fights Randy Orton. Pat McAfee returns, hops over the ropes, and immediately proceeds to punt this man in the nuts. Cody, he calls Nick Aldis the foreign Adam Pearce. Basically just goes on to say that Cody Rhodes is exactly what's wrong with the WWE, which is ironic, Pat, because I would argue that you're what's wrong with the WWE. The endless celebrity plugs, the random fucking Logan Paul-esque people that nobody asked for, wanted, or need. But I guess I'm the minority. Everyone hates Cody, but they love this fucking loser, Pat McAfee. We move on into our next match, where we have an unneeded rivalry match with Rhea and Michonne. Makes no sense. The match shouldn't be happening. The beef doesn't make sense. Michonne was fighting Cargill and then now is with Cargill. It literally is stupid. It doesn't make sense. I hate this feud, and I can't wait for it to be over. But Cargill comes out and distracts Rhea. Rhea gives a fucking terrible looking Razor's Edge. She botched the fuck out of that. I don't know what happened with that one, but it was bad. Michonne hits her with the feet. Almost wins, but then ultimately gets subbed by the Prism Trap while Rhea stares down Cargill till she's attacked by B-Fab and gets jumped by the 3. Io Sky then comes out and proceeds to help Rhea fend off them. Thankfully, I was thinking it was going to be a 3-on-1, but I guess Cargill is like a total piece of shit and just leaves her 2 friends or followers, whatever they are, in the ring to die. Next, we have Aleister Black in the background saying to Matt Cardona, the only one who hasn't figured out that Randy hasn't changed, he's just became who he always was, is you, and you need to get over it, basically. And Ryder's like, well, if you want to claim credit for Randy, then you can come and wrestle me yourself, since it's clearly your doing, in your own words. And then they have a match later on tonight. This then leads into a Tama Tonga and MNFT, or BFT, whatever the fuck they are. The stupid faction of former Roman Reigns lackeys comes out, and they have an argument. He says, why the fuck are we fighting for a stupid lantern? It's done nothing but make our lives harder. This then leads into their match, which is Howdy versus Tama Tonga. He dominates the first half of the match, just beating the shit out of him. Tama to Howdy. He then gets placed into a mandible claw. Solo tries to help him and then ends up just distracting Tamatonga and leading to him getting hit with his sister Abigail, which costs him the match. Tama then grabs the lantern while Solo's holding it and says, "You need to trust me on this one. It's messing with your head." And Solo says, "Take it." Like almost like there was a part of him that's being manipulated by the lantern, and it's like, "I need you to help me" type of thing. But I'm not sure about that. The next segment would be Kit Williams and Miz backstage. Kit said that this week was a kind of toxic week for him, and he's worried about the curse. He said he helped pack up a lady's luggage during an onboarding, and she didn't even ask him to. He was even starting to grunt in the gym. He's becoming truly toxic from the curse, I guess. So then the next segment, or in this segment, Miz basically says there's no such thing as a curse. And that then goes and they see R-Truth on the phone with someone, telling them that Nick Aldis's payment didn't go through or something like that. And then he says to Truth, "You know what? Everything just gets handed to you. You don't have to do anything." Sorry. There we go. He also stated to Miz, if you're trying to become a new member of the Judgment Day, that the applications are full. And that Miz basically says, "For once, I'd like you to master something, inspire someone, zone in, and I challenge you." And then right as he says, "I challenge you," Truth just goes on and is like, "Yeah, no, we can have the title match." Not at all what Miz was talking about, mind you. But they basically just get an open challenge match. And Damian Priest isn't super happy about it, but they continue on with it anyway. He's basically like, either way, win or curse or not, these dudes are in for a bad night. Next we have Sammy finally doesn't look like he's crying like a little bitch in the backstage, where he comes in and he has a smile on his face for a change. He's very proud of himself. He's very happy with the results of the title match. He sees Nick Aldis and apologizes for crashing out on him. He's about to go cut a promo, then Trick Williams comes out with Lil Yachty and basically steals his pyros that he was set up for. And then Sammy follows out, and they have a little back and forth. He calls him a ginger. It basically goes, and Trick basically says, "Well, you're welcome, Sammy. I'm the reason why you have a WrestleMania match, and I'm also the reason why you have a title at this moment," which isn't untrue. Carmelo Hayes then comes down and complains about how Sammy did what he did, and says that Trick's got receipts coming for him. But Sammy, if he was to do the right thing, would be to give him a title match, basically. And so Sammy second guesses it. He's like, "No, I don't want to." And then he's like, "You know what? You're right. That happened to me. I'm going to go and I'm going to give you a title match." Anything else? And that's pretty much it. As Hayes walks out, Trick's basically like, "Why didn't you just say yes and save us all the time?" And then Sammy has enough and just knocks him out of the ring. Then we got the match of Aleister Black versus Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona, it's a match that we all expected it to be. Matt basically just gets beaten up. His wrist isn't working, so he loses. And that's about it. It wasn't anything special. The match could have just more or less not happened, and I would have been okay with that. We got Bayley and Lyra versus Alexa Flair. We have Bayley and Lyra versus Alexa Bliss and Flair. So, in this match, basically, Charlotte and Alexa dominate pretty much the entire match. There's a small amount of offense on the other team's end, and then they win. It was a very unnecessary match as well. Just not needed. It was literally a match for the purposes of setting up an ambush from I forget what they're called, but Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And as usual, their attack looks hyper uncoordinated, very awkward, and just all around bad. But that's pretty normal with these two. So we got Miz and Kit versus R-Truth and Damian Priest. Damian hits an old school. Danhausen comes down and tries to go for a tag. The Miz is basically like, "You're not in the match. I'm not tagging you." He tries to get the ref to convince him to leave, and then R-Truth, seeing that no one's tagging Danhausen, goes and tags him. And Danhausen comes in. Miz says, "You need to leave. Get out of the ring." Yada yada yada. He goes to curse the Miz, and then Miz pulls the referee directly in front of him, essentially preventing the curse from happening to him, seemingly. But still, the curse will later on affect him, because when he goes to do a skull-crushing finale on R-Truth, the referee goes to count to 3, and his right arm all of a sudden can't touch the mat, and it is clearly due to the curse that Danhausen has put on him. At least that's what they will have you to believe. He then gets... I forgot how he was finished, but he was then later reversed and hit with a finisher move. And Miz is then pinned for 3 with the ref's left hand, because the right hand couldn't do it, obviously, because of the curse. What do we have next? And then after that, Damian, or after all this, Cody randomly just crossroads Kits Wilson out of the ring and cuts a major scathing promo and says all the things that I was thinking during Pat McAfee's stupid ass rant. He says we all got dressed up to see who Randy was talking to on the phone, and then says, "Color me shocked, it was Pat McAfee." And he goes off on it. It's like basically if Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were now to announce the third member of NWO, but instead of it being Hulk Hogan, it was fucking what did he call him? Disco Inferno. So he calls Pat stupid stoner grifter Logan Paul without muscles, human hat rack. You're going to get your receipts, and you and everyone you stand for can kiss my ass, and what are you going to do about it? Fire me? It sure worked well the last time. And says he doesn't know if he can go to that dark place anymore, but talks about how he has like the best job ever and the kids and the wife, but now he's finally hearing the voices again, and this is going to lead to some awful stuff for Randy, and that he would not want to know what the voices are telling him to do right now. And then I believe he talks about all the records he set. Every single major return, he set a new record. All the main events he's done, he set a new record. All the people that he has famously wrestled, like John Cena, The Rock, whoever else, they were also wrestling him. And then after Cody wraps up his promo, we have Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes with a very back and forth match. But eventually, Carmelo Hayes injures himself on an outside the ring flip. He tweaks his knee, seemingly, and this basically impedes him for the rest of the match. Basically prevents him from competing in the way he was before. And the ref goes to check on him, and as he does, Sami Zayn goes and haluva kicks him and gets the win. Which... I can't blame him, but I'm guaranteeing that this is going to lead to some more stuff with Sami. Maybe a potential heel turn, I don't really know. But ultimately, I think it's good for his character. He's conflicted, but not anymore. He's not trying to be just purely good. He wants to win. He's taking the advice from Randy Orton that sometimes winning is more important than being a good person. Which, however you feel about that is however you feel about that, but... I definitely think it's good for Cody, for Sami Zayn to be taking this approach right now. And watching him be sulking in the back and depressed was very, very comfortable and unfun. But if I had to, that is basically all that happened on this. Actually, Sami Zayn gets jumped by Carmelo Hayes and Lil Yachty. Or not Carmelo Hayes, Trick Williams. Sorry. But that's pretty much it. It was a very medium SmackDown, not really that exciting. I wouldn't say anything in particular really found its way to me in a way that like mattered. So if I had to rank it, I'm probably going to go with like 6.5 to a solid 7. It was very mediocre with some solid spots, but everything just felt eh. It felt like this SmackDown went way too long too. I don't know why, but it just didn't feel good for a closing SmackDown. But that is all. If you guys liked it and enjoyed, please just leave a like, subscribe, a comment, let me know what you think, let me get any advice that you would like for my channel, and that will be it. I hope you guys enjoyed.